Everybody, welcome to Week 5 press conference. Homecoming this week. Montana hosts Idaho State on Saturday. We've got Levi Giannicara with us, Nick Osmo. We will start with Coach Houck. Your final thoughts on last week's game as Montana turns the page and looks to host the Bengals this weekend.
Thanks, Dabes. We didn't play very well, offense, defense, or kicking. Our team's disappointed. You know, you don't want to go down and not play very well, which we didn't. Made numerous mistakes in simple situations, and we got beat. So with that, we have first place Idaho State coming to town, and we'll be excited to play Saturday.
Questions?
Coach, I know you touched on some of the stuff after the game.
You want me to wait? There we go. Go ahead, Sean.
I know you touched on it a little bit in Flagstaff, but after kind of watching the tape, was there anything else that kind of stood out to you?
No, that was pretty much it. I mean, I'd go back to what I just said about we made mistakes in simple situations, not complex, but just basic things, and we got our first punt blocked, and it was that way all day. So we got to do the little things right, do the simple things right, and then you can get more complex and do more.
You said you wanted to come back with a vengeance on Monday. How do you feel like your team has responded, and how do you feel like you guys have kind of turned the page and are ready to go to ISU?
Well, I haven't seen them yet. Collectively, we don't practice on Sundays, so I'll see them here in a minute, and I'm sure everybody will be excited to get going. If they aren't, then I don't know them, but I think I know our guys. They'll be ready to go.
Do you feel some of the mistakes that you want to improve upon are things that are a little bit smaller in nature that you can correct from week to week, or some things might need to take a little time to develop?
Mistakes, I think every mistake we made in that game is correctable, and I think when our guys watch the film, they'll be shocked that they didn't execute better.
Levi, just from the defensive side, just some things worked for you guys. You had a couple turnovers, but Northern Arizona was able to complete a lot of passes too. So from your perspective, just what did you see that you guys can maybe correct here going this week after this last game?
Just to echo Coach Houck, it was simple things that we've executed on from spring ball to summer to early in the season that on Saturday we just failed to do so. But, I mean, I know the guys that I play with. I know the guys in the locker room. Everybody is disappointed in ourselves, and, we got the guys that will take the corrections, we'll work on things, make improvements, and we'll come back better this upcoming game.
In the past, when you guys have lost a game, you guys have responded well, and this is a veteran team that's seen losses before. So just the days after a loss, how do you guys kind of compartmentalize that and just kind of focus the next game and be able to respond so well? How have you done that in the past, and how do you expect to do it this week?
You just come in on Sunday for myself and some of my roommates. We come in, watch the previous game, see what we did wrong, talk to our position coach about things that didn't go well, things that did go well. Then on Monday, you just work on corrections, learn from it, and then you kind of wipe that game and focus on the upcoming opponent.
Levi, I know you haven't got a chance to look at Idaho State much yet, but, I mean, they throw the ball on basically every down. So what's the preparation like for a team that's very pass-happy?
We had a similar thing with Utah Tech a couple weeks ago, a team that likes to throw the ball. So, we just got to make sure that we're getting off the ball up front, getting to the quarterback, and doing well in our drops, making sure that all the zones are covered, and just, playing our butts off like we always do.
And you guys have done a good job taking the ball away. You did it again Saturday, Braxton Hill's first pick, and Gradney's got to pick a game at this point. So, I mean, how important is that to the style you guys play?
Turnovers are huge. That's one of the biggest things in winning games. If you can create more turnovers and don't turn the ball over, you have a higher likelihood of winning the game. So turnovers are a super impactful thing in the course of how a game plays out. So more turnovers that we can create, the better off we'll be.
Bobby, when you went back and watched the film, I know you talked about some of the areas you guys struggled, but when you watched the film, was there anything you felt you guys did well or that you liked when you got to review the film?
Not really. If you would evaluate performance and being consistent and sustaining things, I always feel like you get a punt blocked, you lose the kicking game no matter what else happens. We did some good stuff, but that didn't give us enough to win the game, and that permeates the offense and defense as well. Doesn't mean we didn't make any plays. We didn't make enough. So, again, we need to play better. I think it's a matter of execution and not making mistakes, and the error percentage by position was too high.
New head coach at Idaho State. You have any overlap with him or anyone else on their staff?
I don't think so.
If you just break them down, offense, defense, special teams, what do they like to do in each phase of the game, and what kind of stands out when you turn on the film on them?
They're going to play with 4 wide receivers on offense, 3 down on defense, and the kicking game's got a bunch of different stuff too. So, that's what they are.
San Diego State, a program you know well, Idaho State gave them a 1-possession game and kind of caught my eye the first week of the season. How are they able to hang with an FBS team?
Well, I hate the labels, frankly. FBS, FCS, Division II, NAI. I mean, if you got a good team, you got a good team. So, there's plenty of FBS teams. I think San Diego State's got a good team, first of all, but there's lots of FBS teams that are terrible. So, don't just say FBS and they're just great, because they aren't. All right. But they played well in that game against San Diego State. I think San Diego State's got a tough physical team. They know what they're doing. But they, they were pretty consistent on offense against them. I thought they tackled the running backs fairly well, and kind of a draw in the kicking game. So that's how it ended up being. I don't know what the final was, but it was pretty close.
There's the play last week where the Idaho State defensive player raced down the field to pop the ball out of the receiver's hand right before he got to the goal line. I guess, one, is that something you've ever seen in a game you're coaching? But 2, that sort of hustle, what does that maybe tell you about the culture Coach Hawkins is instilling there?
Well, I've seen that 100 times. Obviously, it's not something unique. Probably see it 10 times this weekend. Tells me guys got to take care of the ball till they get it in the end zone, and probably about 5 or 6 yards deep, and then hand it to the referee would be the best case scenario. And then all of us believe in playing with effort, and that's a great effort play by that kid.
Nick, we've seen the flashes on offense and things like that. What was it like, kind of being on that side of the ball when things were inconsistent and just kind of couldn't really get into a rhythm?
It's frustrating when we're making mistakes that we've been going over for the past 6 months and basically the whole time I've been here. So we just need to get into the film and look at the things we did wrong, and then have a good week of prep and get ready for this week.
Bobby, about a little over a third of the way through the season, how would you describe the identity of this team so far?
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't answer that in any year. I don't know.
And just
I don't know I don't understand the question. The identity of our team, it's the same as it always is. Tough, hardworking, disciplined, physical.
And with regard to Idaho State, kind of going from Rayville to Hawkins, is there anything, schematically that's a lot different, or do they do anything that really stands out to you?
Yeah, they're completely different. From a year ago, you're talking about? Yeah, they're completely different.
Nick, to piggyback off that, you had a pretty good game against Idaho State last year. The running game had a really good game against Idaho State last year. Does that give you guys confidence in a meeting with them again, even though things could be a little different?
Teams change each year. They get new players, new schemes, all that stuff. So be a different team and might have to take a different approach to them this year.
And just coming off a game like this past Saturday, just how fueling is that as just a player, just to kind of get ready to see Idaho State and kind of just get that bad taste out of your mouth?
It'll be good to get a good week of prep and get back out there and just together as a unit have a good game.
Coach, how would you assess the way the offensive line has played through the first 4 games?
Up and down.
Are you maybe surprised? I know you said that you had high hopes for that group coming into the year. Are you a little bit surprised by that play this year?
I'm surprised we played so poorly last weekend, yeah.
Anybody else? Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.